apron, right? I got it from a restaurant that I was going to bartend at. And I did a stage there. I did one shift and I was like, this is not the place for me. There was just a couple red flags. Ended up saying no to the job, and then like 3 weeks later the place closed. So trust your intuition. Hopefully the washing machine isn't too loud. I'm doing some chores today and I put on my apron because I just thrifted this sweater and I really love it. But I am doing a little pour over, so I have a little beverage while I just like kind of prep a bunch of veggies that are in my fridge. I want to prep a meal for lunches this week, and yeah, just kind of make sure all my veggies are stored so that they stay freshest the longest and all that good stuff. So you're gonna come along with me for that. Okay, so there's a couple things that desperately need to be prepped properly when it comes to veggies, because otherwise they just like go completely limp and have no use to you. So one of those is celery. If you prep celery correctly, it will stay good so long. And it seems like a lot of these are like no-brainers, like, oh, you can't just like store it in your fridge how you get it in the store. But at the same time, they're not, because I didn't realize those. And I grew up with a mom that like cooked a lot. So I think if I don't know those things, like I'm sure a lot of people don't know how to properly store their veggies to keep them good for a long time. And keeping them good for a long time, one, opens up a lot more meals throughout your week where you can incorporate these veggies, but also two, stops you from like wasting your money and your time at the store with these veggies that are just gonna go bad. So celery, first thing you're gonna do is it has to be stored in water. This keeps it good for so long. So I just go ahead and process this down. I'm gonna wash it, chop it, and store it in water. I'll show you how I do that. So I'm gonna break these guys down. I'm basically just gonna cut off this little end where it's like kind of just white, and then also this stalk right here. But I'm not just gonna throw that away. I'm gonna put it in here because I'm gonna be making chicken broth with these like vegetable ends. So we'll go ahead and do that. I just got them all chopped up. Now I'm going to get some sort of jar that can sit in my fridge that I don't need to use throughout the week. Has a wide mouth. I'll show you what I use. So this, for example, is perfect. I'm just gonna put some filtered water in here. And I don't do too much because I don't want the celery to just like get kind of slimy, you know? So I just do enough to get the bottoms wet so that it can maintain that structure. And then I just put them in here. Obviously this is gonna have to be on a shelf of my fridge that can hold something a little bit taller, but you can also do an even wider mouth jar or something like that if you need to have something that can, like if you need to cut all these in half and have something even shorter to fit on a different shelf. So boom, celery's done. I also got this little end of the celery with like all the leaves and the butt. I am gonna put all of that in this thing for stock. We'll use it all. Okay, next thing is gonna be mushrooms. So mushrooms are another thing that I feel like can go slimy or get kind of just weird if you don't process them correctly. So especially if they come in a big tub like this, I'm going to dump them all out onto a couple pieces of, what is this called? Paper towel, and gonna make sure they're all nice and dry. So I got a little reusable bag again, and I'm going to just put all these in here. A lot of times these come in a box from the supermarket that's like pretty, has a lot of condensation in there, or just like holds a lot of moisture, and so it becomes an issue because then the mushrooms get kind of soggy and a little bit waterlogged. Same reason why you don't want to wash your mushrooms. So I'm gonna dry them all off and then put them in here so they stay good for longer. And then I kind of have all these like little extra scattered pieces, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in my thing for my broth. This will add a lot of like umami flavor, some good nutrients. So mushrooms all done. Obviously I just did a little light pat dry and just made sure whatever I'm putting them in is a dry container. Sorry, I was just like, the outside got wet, so I was like, what the fuck, it's not gonna be dry. But it was just the outside. Okay. So yes, now they're nice and dry and they can lay flat, and I just put that in my fridge. Okay, the other thing is gonna be fresh herbs. So I was like kind of astounded when I first started storing herbs like this. So I love cooking with fresh herbs. I think it adds so much to a meal, but I had such an issue with them literally going limp after like a day. And I already did this because I did it like the second we got the groceries in, just so that they would be preserved the best. So I got Italian parsley and cilantro. And what I do is like, obviously there's these little plastic bags you get at the store when you get like loose hand produce. And so I just cut the ends off of them and I just put them in water. Again, just enough to keep them hydrated, not enough to like make them soggy. So you do that first, and then also you put this bag over the top of them. It kind of behaves like a greenhouse, keeps them all moist, keeps them from getting too cold in the fridge. And then boom, I just have my parsley, my cilantro, and these have stayed good for like a week and a half like this, which for fresh herbs is like a big deal to me. Another thing I've been having a lot of issue with was carrots going bad, which is so weird because they're one of those fridge like vegetables that you would think stay good for the longest. But I was having an issue with them getting like really soft and limp after like 2 days, which is ridiculous. So what I started doing is cleaning them, drying them, and then putting them in an airtight bag. And that has helped a ton just to like kind of keep their crispness. I've heard also people say store them in water, like cut them up and store them in water. I haven't tried that, but this is working really well so far. I think the main idea is just keeping excess air and oxidization away from them, which water will do or a sealed bag will do. Yeah, that's another one. I was just leaving my coffee over there. It's so good. I did a little frothed milk on top, just like 2%. Something I'm still struggling with keeping fresh is green onions. As you can tell, I had these in the fridge and then they're wilting really bad, so I took them out. I just don't know how to keep these fresh, so comment down below if you know how to keep them fresh, because I love adding green onions to things. I think it adds a really beautiful color, brightness, flavor obviously, but like I literally got these like, what's today? It's literally Tuesday and I got these Sunday afternoon and they're like completely ruined, and they were perfect at the supermarket. So how do I save these? SOS, need help. The last thing is not a vegetable. It's gonna be a little dish I'm prepping for us this week. It's gonna be a buffalo chicken cottage cheese dip, which I saw this girl on TikTok, Meredith, do, and it looks so delicious. She'll eat it with like bell pepper and like corn chips, and it just looks so good. And I tried it last time, but I don't think I added enough cottage cheese, so it wasn't like liquidy enough. And I didn't add any like cheddar cheese or anything on top, so it wasn't as indulgent. So we're gonna try a little bit more of a delicious version this time. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it in this pan because I'm gonna bake it in here. But first, we're gonna take apart the chicken. I got a Costco rotisserie chicken because these are an insane deal. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put all of the bones, the skin, everything into the same broth bag because we're gonna use this to make chicken broth. I grew up on a farm, so like getting my hands dirty like this, I mean, I didn't think of it as a farm when I was growing up, but now looking back, I'm like, oh, that was literally like a little hobby farm, you know? But yeah, so getting my hands dirty like this does not bother me whatsoever. I grew up definitely knowing where my food came from, and I think that was a very positive thing. But yeah, I'm just gonna try and debone as much as I can. Actually not saving the skin, I'm gonna put the skin in here just cause like, it's already been rotisserie. Like I don't really think there's any usable collagen left in the skin. But obviously the bones have a lot of marrow, collagen, all that good stuff. So this is gonna be the waste. It's just like the goo and skin. Then I've got all the bones and cartilage and like the entire breast, everything like that. Or breastplate rather, and then the chicken and meat. Sealing this guy up, it's gonna go straight into my freezer so I can make a broth later. Okay, I was gonna film the rest of me doing this little chicken buffalo boy right now, but my camera is about to die, so I'll see you guys later. Hello, I'm back. Having a little snack. I've got some kefir and a banana. But let's continue on. We need to shred the chicken. All right, shredded the chicken. Now we're gonna make the cottage cheese mixture. Okay, so I made this once before and it was super dry, so I think two things. One, I need to blend the cottage cheese so it's creamy-er, and put all the seasonings in there is my thought, so that it'll like be nice and evenly distributed. And also I'm gonna put cheddar cheese on top because of course that makes it more delicious. I'm going to use me NutriBullet because I try and use my NutriBullet for like anything I make that's savory for the most part. I do have a Vitamix, but I just like using my NutriBullet if I'm gonna put like garlic powder and stuff like that goes bad. Ooh. Because I feel like it kind of sticks, the smell and flavor kind of sticks to the Vitamix, and then all my smoothies taste like that. And that's what I predominantly use my blender for. So anyway, I'm gonna plug this baby in and we're gonna put a whole container of cottage cheese. I use the Good Culture cottage cheese. One, because it's the most delicious cottage cheese I've tried, and two, because it is probiotic. So got some extra little nutrients in there. I'm using the 2% one because it's a little bit higher protein. It's about, per half cup, it's 40, not 40, that would be crazy, 14 grams of protein. To this, I'm just going to add garlic powder, black pepper, a little bit of Trader Joe's ranch seasoning. Okay, a lot of it. And finally, some Louisiana hot sauce. I've also, the person that originally made this, Meredith, uses, Frank's. I've never tried Frank's. This is the hot, like, kind of like hot wing style hot sauce I grew up on, so I use this one. Also, after trying this, after not having it for years, it is like, I feel like spicier, and I'm a person that likes spicy. Have you had this recently? What do you think? Well, we're gonna do a good amount of her. Blended it for a little bit. Time to taste it. Very good, needs more buffalo flavor. Also, if you hear vacuuming in the background, Jordan's cleaning. He was very sweet. I did the grocery shopping this week, so he said he would do the cleaning, which was so nice. A lot of these, like the flavor measurements, just like measure with your heart, what do you like? Okay, do that, easy peasy. This is the color we have now. For reference, here's the hot sauce. It was completely full when I started using it. This is what a full one looks like. It's full to like right there. So that's how much hot sauce I used. If that's too much for you, don't use that much. That's what I like. That's really all. Now I'm going to preheat the oven to 400. And then we're gonna add lay sauce to the chicken. Ooh, she moved me. Actually, don't think I'm gonna add any cheddar cheese on top just because this already looks a lot better than my first one. It's a lot more moist. This is literally just rotisserie chicken, cottage cheese, and hot sauce. So obviously super high protein. Another thing Meredith did was she dipped like bell pepper little like slices in here to get like some veggies in and like a little bit of crunch with it as a way to like eat it like a dip, you know? She did that in corn chips. So I think that's another great way to like get a little bit of veggies with this. Also, as you saw earlier, have a lot of carrots, so you could do carrot sticks with it too. Sounds super delicious. But yeah, we're gonna heat this up just for like maybe 10 minutes, just so it gets a little bit like bubbly. And in the meantime, I have one last thing that I need to do something with, which is these oranges. I got a bag of oranges from H-E-B that was like 5 oranges, so we ate 2 of them already, and they're just terrible, honestly. Like, the bag said juice oranges, and I really should have heated that because they have huge seeds in them, and they're kind of dry, and they're just like not that good. So I don't want them to go to waste. So what I'm gonna do is try and make orange juice out of them. So I have a nut milk bag. I'm just gonna blend these up. Well, take the peel off, blend them up, and then see if we can get some orange juice. Went ahead and moved my Vitamix over here so it'd be easier for you guys to see. But I'm thinking I'll do 3 oranges, like a little chunk of ginger, and maybe like 1 carrot. So it's a little bit of like more than just orange juice. So let's peel them. So this is pretty full already. So I'm gonna do a little first blend and then we'll add the rest of the stuff. Carrot time. Got my carrots, got my ginger. I'm not gonna peel the ginger. I don't know if that's wrong, but whatever. I'm gonna strain it anyway, doesn't matter that much. The issue is the oranges aren't that sweet. You wanna try it?
What is it?
It's the orange carrot ginger juice.
Alright.
I'm gonna strain it through a nut milk bag so it'll be juice, but this is just for flavor. I think I should add some honey.
Not bad. The ginger's pretty strong.
I only put like 1 little nub, but it was like, bam! Yeah. Got my bowl, got my nut milk bag, just pour it in there. You don't need to have a juicer, especially if you're not juicing all the time. I do this very rarely. It's really only when I have like veggies and fruit I really need to use up. So you can literally just use this. Like, you don't have to have a separate contraption to do every tiny little task. It's a really pretty color. That 1 carrot did a lot. Ow, it's just the labor of love. You gotta squeeze it a little bit. Obviously make sure your hands are clean. Okay, so I just finished and now I'm just gonna, I dumped out my, like all the pulp into the trash and I'm just gonna rinse this. I rinsed it with some warm water and now I'm just gonna do some Dawn soap and then rinse it again, just so that milk bag can be reused. It doesn't get all like nasty. Here is the juice. I'm just gonna pour this into my Vitamix so I can have something easier to pour from than a bowl. I got this from a local juicery called Raw Republic. It's just a glass bottle, so I'm reusing it. Putting some of my own juice in there. Lemon, ginger, carrot, orange. Not super sweet, but I think it'll be really good. Hasn't cooled down yet, so I'm gonna try the leftover with some ice. See how it is cooled down. Woo! The ginger is strong. It's definitely better cold though. This is good. It's a success. And that's all I got today. I hope this was helpful. I hope it taught you a little bit of ways to help keep your veggies fresh in your fridge, how to store them properly, a recipe for quick, easy, high protein lunches throughout the week, what to do if you have some fruit and veggies you have no other way to use up, make a juice out of them. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.